Well, if I say something truly wrong, you feel free to correct me. It's totally
I'm
fine.
sure I won't catch anything.
It's totally cool. I mean, this subject is. I mean, this is I've studied it in English, but I've not studied the Tibetan extensively. So.
Oh, right. I actually don't have the text, right?
It's actually on the wall over there.
Oh, which one was it?
It's the second one. Do you see the? Do you see the? It's like right in front of you. There's 1 and 2 in the yellow stickers to the right. To the right, the paperbacks. I think it's the second one.
Maybe one.
Part 2. Do you want the Tibetan text or the English text?
I mean, if there's any chance you have both, obviously I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the Tibetan.
It's the Tibetan one. I mean, how much are we gonna get through? A couple pages. I don't mind just taking a couple snaps of it.
I don't think we'll get through too much. He's gonna
That's fine.
Tantric.
And there's just Yam, there's the Methle Menangi love. Three Amanda actually, on the Gicont Carre. Ah, Cargeto. Tanging got the Chacomandro. She's so tataris. Chem Chazek. He's so tataris on
Okay, it's time to start.
Last one, the thing that's a good Jaro.
So now we're going to start.
Reports you good. A change on
You
Chesha.
Tantric.
Last one. Tani, Takas on the Drangamadal Nazo Zupo Michikata, Zupo Neton that Sawoma Roma Kamatani, Tazol Gomja Sani, Tazongo Triches our Lima, Tendi Gomja Tanchi Lamna Samson.
So in the last class, we talked about the three channels in the person, a human, in this case would be a human body. And so now we're going to talk about the three channels are the central channel, the right channel, and the left channel. And so now we're going to talk a little bit today about how to actually meditate using these three channels.
That's what Tani Tomatal Nemaya Sheja, Naxet, teaching the tree in Sonsa, not so Gomjavi, Nematal. Name John da Chanjo Semia Pochi Gomrochi, Name John's in a Carlab de Wars, the Name John's at Natsuka Nanchlas or Pidinger Mandoni, Tilly, Nyan Tapani, Tando Casamrochi, and one's a cherry.
So before we really do any kind of meditation, particularly in terms of highest yoga tantra, it's really important to meditate on what we call renunciation, which is not a great translation. I don't particularly like it. We could say that this conviction to definitely emerge from samsara, and also bodhicitta. And so what is renunciation or bodhicitta? It's as I said, it's a firm, definite conviction to sort of be tired of samsara and arise from it.
Ani the gondol change of Kasem the Samlochi down that pay up or a change of Kasem, they are the country or is it so Kangi Keka Nanchi Kangi Nala Tama to Deures, it to at Nangaro Targo Ndula Nangaro Chiboma in Mitsama to Mizia Merisim Chatama, Kangi Litarna Yapondu, Sambi Samlo Yachimbo Tijachini, Tati Tarwala, Jambaj, Nato Menkan Lechini, Ropacia, Pesha Chini, Ropacia, Tanjiga, Mi Yakiopi Tapshichu, Mayamber, Sim Girchutani, Kiopi Tapshichego, Ndu Sambi Su Te Chigre.
So, what we call this bodhicitta mind, or this mind of enlightenment. So when we think about the renunciation, we're really thinking about our own liberation, our own freedom from suffering, and the mind of enlightenment is really expanding that to think about other people. So we want not only do we want to have liberation for ourselves, we want to have liberation for other people. We want to help everyone, and there's many ways to help people in terms of money or sort of helping people like with illnesses in the hospital. But here what we're really talking about is helping people change their mind.
Oh, so that same Mijamba, same Kangeli Kyopi Tabla Lambaguala, Thomas also the same Kangeli Jorto Gore, so Namja Tamachi Machina, Mijamba Laveo Mara was on so Gomjavation, so the same Jetutan which at Gomjavio, in Taman. Gomta Sojami Yapor in Antarctica, they kids a social tom road, so toti so in Yamyon Sama, Malashini, Malapentoshini, Miyakio, or Chanchu Kasemzia and Rotan Sutere.
So, with the mind of enlightenment, we have this desire to help others, but we really can't help others until we actually help ourselves. So it's really important that we are able to free ourselves or improve our minds before we try to help other people. And so this is where this meditation comes in, right? Is that the meditation is the way that we actually change our mind in a positive way, that then after we have some experience with meditation, we can use that improved mind to help others.
Lasso, Tani, now Jindal Tanji Karlon the Jokingamoni, Karlon the Gachembozi Zorochita, Tel Kalish Rachi Omar, Tel Rosoya Shiratango Marichi, Te Karlon Gachozo, La Pesha Mombochita, Tanji Chegona, Natal Tanjo Marzia, Yana, Michi Shichembono, Tanji Gona, Te go Mari, Nepa in Andrekundu, Wambochonja in Andrekundu, Matanta in Andrekundu, Sundachikina, Saulo Gachembo, Jampanka Saulo Gachembo, the Gomna, Chipachikan Cheki, your sonza, Katina. And also, may set some lawyer poaching songs that they go on share.
Kind of one, but they kind of
One book you say in Andrew, one book your mesa in Andrew, meet Top Chimbo in Andrew, Top Chon in Andrew, Besha yourself. See, you're not Chipachikan, Colon, Yachiritan chocolate, telling Rosan Chigo Mari.
So it's really important, for example, in the morning that we establish a very good motivation, this motivation to help others. And we're not necessarily, it doesn't have to be something that is very difficult for us, right? That we don't have to first exert a lot of effort necessarily. Like we don't have to give a lot of money or work very hard. Really, it's just a matter of establishing this good motivation. And it really, whoever there is can do this. If you have a lot of money or you don't have a lot of money, if you're strong or not strong, whatever it is that you're doing, you really just want to establish this positive motivation.
That's what Sonza, the Nickel launching Jaja Jenny, then you also Gomja, Tiso, the Ketan Chona, Jokinamoya, your resin, do Yonki, Carresina, Consang Yota, Sound Lotus Somatis in London, Chateli, Yota Sabaya, Ramalin, selling Nichikusati, Tipper, Jokinamo, the same kind of Tom and Oyo Sonza, Jokinamo Gomjantona, Yapo, resin, the Gomja Caps, Shazu took banning goats go and Tapa took banning goats, Dumbanning goats go and Tapa Dumbanning goats go and Korotiso Rintonkate, Kamachali. Gomjana, Jongal Gomjana, Usual Gomjana, Cabario Marina, and goes to get Tiso Tapa, Chena Pay up on Gorez and the Gomjile, the rich to Jebal Gomji Yazani, Gubali Janani, Chibaliana, Pachamari Lout. Natal, so Gabali, Gomjasana, Gabani goes in Katakama Chonga, but Nishapat, Sanyata, Nanyata, what in Richena, Pochacarela. So, now that if we've established our motivation as being the most important thing, the next thing is really like, when do we actually meditate? The best time really is to meditate early in the morning. That could be different for different people. It could be 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, really whatever is suitable to you is okay. One of the important things, though, is that you should meditate at the same time every day, right? So don't meditate at 6 one morning and 7 the next morning and then 6:30. It's important to have consistency in your practice and to meditate at the same time every day. Also, tani jijachi tani ka song also legon ne to so jasa re zu bod de tan de kitchen cheni jawlo to de san tom bon ro chi chini tin de la pat de ni jijani muni ta nasel ma pani mombo ta juta tsai da tani ro chi chini de na ya po yo re zin ta nga ta ki de kapchangol de ki ta kapchangol yan ju tan de re zin ngo ne ma phozan cho ko tan de sons na jongo na la kitchen chan ro she wa de ton ro ta tan de chi re sha de ro chi multinational malolo de cinema tanyin yaw lo to trambo chi lo zu po de lo lo ja yap te zum tombo yo na yaw lo mana ta tinjil pengre bi ko chat yaw shot te so when we sit, we should sit as Geshe has demonstrated. We sit with our back straight and our head pointed down just a little bit and our hands in this position here. It's good to have a cushion underneath us, and we can have a thick cushion to get our body up is totally fine. And we want to have our eyes a little bit closed and looking down toward our nose. Voilà, so tani taka sanga so saga nenga to so mombo chi shewi non indo nenga chimbo chi odonga na sezi andare ani kyo de cheni ko lo chi drabalon kyo ko lo kinga chu ki ko lo te wa cherbin ko lo sani de kingi ko lo zini ko lo chimbo nga ta tani sa o mi marneti dun ka sango to che saware dunkat sangor nga ta sai ko lo ndo ashin ngara sa o mi yane ta marne leni tim. And so when we talk about the subtle body, we have the 5 chakras at the crown of the head, at the throat, at the heart, at the navel, and then down at the secret place. And we also have Dila di kare di tsalo sai go mi yarnet ki deu nan di umagi gi tama chunro adi gonda de
And so you have the end of the central channel that comes out here, which is called the it's like the tip of the corner of the tip of the central channel that comes out here, and you also have it down essentially in the reproductive organs.
Sonzanga somupa tombo te kateja yezina ti gandal worki tile kariji chunchu chita dongo na te worki tile lawore worki imbale chunchu chi tendi chi gomia tere shatela den jana den karbo chi dai den chi te kaman kornjo chi den chi kan kawlen dele yo chunchu chi ma to chembo shu sablo ta yo mare ta na so yonkar kendre samre lo yonkar kendre ya chunchu shu chi re lo
ta wo te gabo ge ti tatiki gang di kan
ta Tandi katutal saulo tanan record. Zagne moti katigliola. Tikati what it in record.
So you can also, one way to meditate is to imagine that there's a very small, bright white drop, a very small drop right there at the place where this opening of your forehead is between the eyes. This is the termination of the central channel. And the gangla di yang di dawa di chung chung di.
Dawa chung chung ma kornyon.
So you also can imagine there's sort of an upside down moon on top of that. I have a drawing here somewhere that might be helpful. Well, you can't see that. It's really sort of a sliver of an upside down. You can't see that at all. The sliver of an upside down moon that can be imagined right there as well.
Kyoso kamachesh gomgo na chonga gomgo na nishi gomgo na telo mukpate ni gomjami teni de parshi tandri kachichi te gomjati soso nawal mit so tanan tongo yo kero samsam ro chi sabo sa kyanchi le
Sabo le
la pa chi raja na tuya chi yo sa ro samsam ro teni sabo sharde ya chi gomjap to gore zegndu tawazi la mai la chemes atendri gomna teni kachichi chi mi la pa te mi tondia Sabo ci chateau mara passabo shu charto as jam tongo tsama zegre jerseti la pa tu atren tonzeti tanan tonat teni do ci
kebeteto di nan sabo tongi
so no ale teni ci le gore ngonin tongo yo marta teni ci gomja gore zegre.
So you can meditate imagining that this very small white light in the moon, so upside down moon is sitting in that position for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And you want to imagine that this is very bright and very clear and very sharp, vivid appearance. Of course, for most of us, that's not going to happen easily. But you really want to have that imagination that it's really there, very bright and vivid and clear.
Ani nyamachila tikatu talatari gomni da kama pena nyishu gongona kama nyishu gombi sarti tsai talatani londa tani ominal jikson sabsam tani ma jignita tamatala inda kama nuba ya poteni ta kama nyeshe ze gomjo ta long ominal jikson sabsam ngoni jukto mari ina sosotani ma jigni nyangi ge tsamda tsama choni sa ominal pa long de sondayon ditani sachala tam chamela tam melon la tam long na la tam na chepan nirto wosar tni ya wosar wa isem de tni nyankani ya sharion ya o tni ching tamatal te chi gomsho nyanta pa gomshar shar gomche samla ne.
So then after doing that for a while, you will do this meditation with the very small sort of bright seed right there at the opening at the forehead. And then what you'll do is imagine that goes up and down through the central channel and comes down to your heart channel. It comes down to the what we would call the knot at the heart center, which is Dila. So it would be this would come down the central channel, come up and down the central channel, and come to here. And at that point, of course, this isn't happening in actuality, but at that point, you would imagine that you're going through the dissolution process of the earth into fire, fire into water, water into air, and then the Nangmasum into the three appearances. So right now we're just saying this very roughly. We'll go into more detail about the dissolutions in a second.
Tani o tani chigum tani wasarwa I sem de ya ngon sar chazati o tin wasarwa I sem de go ni pa sem de tomba ni gomgo yo samba chini pa tonsang namba tika ko ngak na tomba de tomba ni imba ma za zupo kangan tanda ngaru go zupo chama ma me ando nga kapchangol di ge de oti tati lonsem chamo tomato kapchangol chikam me ach tomba tongchang o tani chi gomgo yo re.
And so then at the end of this, what you have is what's called the clear light mind. And at this point, when this is really manifested, all the appearances of your body and everything have disappeared, and really all you have is this, what we sort of, not really an emptiness, but this great sort of vacuity. And at this point in time, the what you would do is actually be meditating on emptiness itself.
Ani tin tendrigo sem chamo ta ta tenyam de lonji or long de tetsa yo ala teni tang yezpo de kar chandro rezidi tan pena njiche kunyam lem bache ji na tombo chirk zayat go chirk go mon yezpo kanga jambe ya chandro jambe en kazu pon churku long tombo long go long jambe ya pena njiche nyam lem bache na jambe ya ran la savlo tango ni zikpo thamal we zikpo kanga jebo lo sare ni zikpo zame ke zikpo ngo ndo sare zame ke zikpo zena naya ta chaya ta gengo cha ta tani chuni mengyo kati na chipchi kya de nye zikpo jizan jambe ya zikpo ta chai le ratchen ke chai ba leba namba kom do serbo yimba ani javni ta chani ma watching ma to shala mombo tindi yo samari tindi chigl haptika tindi so nga tindi chigl kerson samba tomba ni topi shirata tinyerlengo lond tomba ni topi shirau kun jizanjame ng semcha lond ge zuk pochani so jizanjame yang ya kerson sambe ge tani mupatembo chichini de toache
Also
hoptika wasar tani panjendo
okay. So and then from this clear light mind, when you're meditating on emptiness, from that moment you can imagine that you can imagine soso
rangre ta soso ta sem chamot ta long chamot ma to jamba chikan la mera ta ji savno tan ta long chamot ji zanjameng po soso jizanjambeng zu pungo onjer sem chamo de jizanjambeng tkungo onjer son samdi ta so jizanjambeng chasar
okay.
Nakana de lagon to mo mind ba
Okay. So in this clear light mind, you have the very subtle mind and the very subtle wind that are conjoined, and that is meditating on emptiness. And so this subtle mind that's meditating on emptiness, from that arises yourself in the as Manjushri, right? And this is Manjushri because this is the enjoyment body of the Buddha that's arising, and this body has the sort of qualification of being without defilements of any kind, right? There's no diseases, no problems. Everything is just sort of perfectly formed, and it's arising. You're arising out of this wisdom, realizing emptiness from this incredibly subtle wind and mind conjoined.
Last vatani the long gombi nyamlen zetiate ta chirkal pa goni genin jona njikche tawachi gomondi kom do ngombo chi gomgore tate te jena sambo wo kyang le jar gazer tin go gutamba jab chitu kamba chitu chaksoni samchsoni o tandi yosachi tani soso tandi chili ya kerson sambita gomyong
The young thing, the
Jabe on the pie journey.
Okay,
Jabe on the Tindichil
So then we imagine that this manifestation of Manjushri that has arisen from this wisdom consciousness, you think that it has the 30, the what is it, the qualities of speech and body and mind, the 30, you must not know. The younger the Kechu the younger son.
What the Gatam Angola.
So you have the sort of head dress, not really I forgot the correct word for it, but all of the Buddhas have the head that looks like that. So you imagine that comes out of it.
Ani chao lakpa so
So you have 30 arms. Yeah, that's a 33 great. 80, yeah, the 30 minor. Oh, it's the 30 great and minor marks of a Buddha. So there's a list of the different qualities that a Buddha has. So you imagine that your manifestation of Manjushri has all of these different qualities.
Manifestation of?
Manjushri?
On that the Churkaze or Nakanal dates Tate Lapchasam Roach in the Yam Dachipan, Court Lapchasamios at Tenjigom Gore, Yams in Hakundo, Yam Yamburjik, and Cortal Jambatal, long Churkaria, Chasam Tamay, Tenjigom.
And so then you imagine this was first imagining the enjoyment body. So now we're imagining what we would call the trukus of the manifestation body. And you ought to imagine that this manifestation of the God is conjoined with the consorts. We see them in the Yabyum pair. And then you also want to imagine the retinue of bodhisattvas around this manifestation.
That just the Gomondita, Kasakani Lavimba, Nashi on the Kyosoza, Saulotan, Katandra, the Chiti, Yarbozakazunda, which is Rayongor. Or put Yarbozakazunda, which you want to change in cases of Putranzupoja, Putranzuponon, Cortasoja, Corotizili. Yarbozakazunda, Chigomja on the Tami Mombo, Chikichi, Nashatamandoni, Katandra, and you was at, and it's on in Chayo, so Katanguayomar, and it's also Gomitona, the department of Chenicominjona. Recurrete Gomi Matrona Jajan and Rio. So they gom Java Telegabo Yonan and Gom Nandri. Gabo Mena Jajan and Rio, the Dictari Chichisawanini Layo Maritima, Na Shenivion, and the Dictari Lamia Teleshe Chocoyomar, Tambor, Muni Yaponiani Chilishe Goremato, Yapo till Dictari Chizina Shecho, Marsonzang in Casanya Tabatella de Teria and Josilavia. So the Karen road and it's our in Malabro. No Yamni Chat, Choyo Maritin.
So it's really important also when you meditate just to feel good about it, to meditate when you feel like meditating, and if you don't want to meditate, don't meditate. But don't say bad things, like don't say bad things about meditating. Don't sort of complain about meditating. Really want to keep good associations, I believe.
Until Kasam Lamchirzini, Nakanaga, Yona Mena Chirita, Nima Tapatan is also Yonder Chegore, Tandi Yonder Chena, Tal Kerams in Iramba Tombo, Korambachi, Yandra, Retani Parishini, Sawamanal, Asili Long Union Bukigo, Nixem the Sostricton, the Muni is also was the Ponjeto, Jibolon Toyori. And the Tamil is upon the journey Katachigom de Ajo, Asili Jebolo Togres in Chevior.
So the Nimadakpa, the Gusum.
That day, Yamatapa, Parabchini Gomgra, Takinaj, some goms, Tomboba, a new sympathy goms on, Chachukalam Yezer, Machishan, Tinjoni, Chakanjambian Gomson, the Lonkajambian, Lonkalam Yezer, the Tamatanji Lapchasam Gomson, the Chakalam Yezer, there's something Yatapa, La Tombo, the Gomjanicase, the Toto Goptenis, Tawamina, Long Gixon, some Givnit and Joamombo Chinroson, Yatapa, the Yonder Chego Dulai.
So it's very good if we can do this though every day. Of course, we won't really be able to do this, properly, but just to really go through the process of imagining, meditating on the drop here, having it come up and go down into our sitral channels to what we call the heart, to the heart chakra, imagining, right, that we also, first we should have the bodhicitta and the renunciation, imagining that from that you have the disillusioned states to the clear light mind, and in the clear light mind you have the wisdom realizing emptiness, and the wisdom realizing emptiness, from that arises Manjushri. You have the different qualities of a Buddha, and you have the meditation on the self-generation, the enjoyment body, and the manifestation body of this Buddha, and that you go through this whole process as you are able every day, really, just to practice it.
So on that, Mombochik, the Yemacha, and the Topazate, or the Takaya member, Samlotan is Upochopolos and a Pechi Yoman. That's the Pong at Tamil is upon Petty Jepolon, is Amekuzupong or Yerjak. In our church, your Marisame, your Samari, monitron the Tesson, the Mugum, the Tesson, Yakar Hindu Chupatason on door, Nambatas door, the Mozini Chogo. Chongo, the Supokanga Trombozoni, Countess on the Chuni Tromo. The motor go on the Supokanga Tropa, Trombo Chai. Samlo time on the Supokanga Trochani, Countess of Kanzina Hakondo. So this now the Gomjan, the Tramo Chuni Chayo, Tramo Macha, Mazan kori ka kanda so ma chok ma jin ro yor. Ti samlo tani zukpo chabo zo yung. Samlo tani zukpo chabo zo togu yo na samlo tani zukpo jebo lo togai. Yo misipa chi sawa ni ma. No gongu ni ba go. Gongu ni ba zukpo chabo zo yung ta mambo chi le de wor.
So we can make the example to illustrate the power of this meditation. Right now we have we're normal people, we have these normal bodies, right? It sounds very difficult, but there are people that meditate on what's called tumo, which is where you meditate using the channel and the drop here in the navel. And these people generate this inner heat, and they can, they have, through this kind of meditation, they can generate so much power that they can even like sit in the snow without clothes and meditate without being, without getting cold.
Watani daworetani tate san tserkyan le gyamato atanga tsotanda sacha chame long le tamdro ton typical nagolo cheni shawaja koreti wol nanche to so wasarda chipa tandri yorezeni nakanal sheyo ananje tanda trasata sole mombondo tiktam logic zet mission roti tiktam hakona tiktam logic zeti nyama dun nyama chonga nishu tandri la tsawati tu samchaka tanal chalo lu chesari zerpat so taki tandi shasar se chama kyoni kago mari tandri shute orete namba chena tate uku wasar katul tombani la soba gomi yamlen pat so juk de yore zene she orete she ananje parche ranchoni ro tandi shundu ngoma konsam choklo cholote tiktam jinke so zerpat so kyosa taki tanga ro shozete bugi taki tandi ta ngaso zergungoni shena na mit transar shala undus ina tini ma mombol kemrat so tsini jati parche gaden to japa ni ma chonga ina tin juisa zu polen jandro ma zete so chekan yo mar oten danda ngakana shia ta rancho ni ro shu ji chakayore.
So there's also a thing called tuktam, which happens when someone goes through these, a meditator is able to go through these distillation states of the earth dissolving into the fire dissolving into earth dissolving into the water dissolving into fire dissolving into wind, and then you go through the three different appearances and then to this clear light mind, and very good meditators are able to stay in that space of this clear light mind. And this is called tuktam, and what happens is that according to science, the person has already died. But they are able to stay in this meditation state for 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, 30 days, for a long time, and the body at this point doesn't develop a bad smell, doesn't begin to go through the normal signs we would expect of a body that's decomposing. His Holiness is actually sent. There's a lot of studies now with science. His Holiness has sent people to really study these great meditators that are in these tuktam states. And so scientists, according to science, these people have died, but they have observed that the bodies, in fact, will stay without smell, stay supple. They're not showing the normal signs of death for many days after, according to science, the breath has stopped and the brain activity has stopped.
Then jambaya malam go nyik nam jorzen yan yore ngaso nyik njoy kalma nyik wondi yan sa cheme lon nam shil mar sa cheme me long na wala mata na chepal mata son sambia niku kable tni nyamle je de ni tni yore ti kable khasaki ni chongwe ta dawa kashi ngol lo shoni ya nga chundra chuba geli jamse ko so tseri jani re te take tangale son di manji to washi ge chindu ze ke nyek tanda malam ko nyamle de che de yo la te chole take chena de gre ze ni cho nyekun ro ata malam ta ta so choro ha ko ndo ze ta ko ndo ta malam ta so ta nyeku son ta ke gomja sama ha ko ndo ni ko missing to so ga ya sama ga ni ko nyeku chu ani ko so ta ke ta ni ti ta on di te choro nyeku son sa ni muk da ja sho ani malam ta son se na malam ta son ni ta ja sho ze ti ta ko so ta on di ta ke da ja yo
milam ginang de kong di ta kyap song
da ja ndo so
ti timnik betetsula
tserbat so ko so te misi te so ga yana ya te ni ko gom ja on di ti jmon ro ching do jmon ro ti yan sen shu lessons
di kong so di lepa ki lokle ki ti doctor ji ki
dan chen de yan sen mong bo lessons ko son to manyo Because dancing sama pukila seriku puku nyamjo ko amanal patanda op chumri pe apoton shatan tanganga tson manyo mombo chile shazi ta jimji cheni tonda karare jeni tayare zeta tanda mutso dache ishu yapoton so ta da kashinesh.
So you also go through a similar process when you fall asleep and you dream. You go through the same the dissolutions of the earth to the water to the fire and to the wind. And so about a month ago, Geshe La and Geshe Gelsen went down to
Jansen damar gele jansen zini jamba.
Gele Ginsen.
Ge jansen koma.
Gele Ginsen. So Geshe La and another Geshe Gele Ginsen were in Drebung, and there was a monk who said, "Oh, I'm going to do this dream yoga practice where I'm going to actually can sort of be aware going through this whole process, and while I'm in the dream, meditate." And so they were also the scientists there that were able to study this process. And he said, when he's in the dream, he'll give a sign that he's in the dream and that he's meditating. And I think through his eyes, they can move their eyes. And so he went to sleep. He went into the dream. He did his practice. He was able to give this sign to the scientists, and they also studied his brain. And the scientists who were watching the sort of the drawings that are coming out of the machine studying the brain were just amazed at what was coming out. They said they'd never seen any kind of, I'm guessing it's like EEG readings. They'd never seen readings like that coming out of that. So they were very impressed and very curious as to what was going on.
That's what tani ro chi je te tani cheti taki nga so dong na se le go chi tle gom kama ni she chi le gom ti chi le tanda kasam lam chi gom tani yo ninka go le gom ni tani ro chi samna nyang na se zini yo ti ka ti tle sang kor ta chi go ta ta rin da sa wo mi ya ni cha te tanda nyang ka le tanda je pa chi yore tanda ti lun tong do per je mo chi ti do tanda je pa ti ki ku tle aton sheki ngakor gomba ta ngakti gomba zeni kachani ora ngakor ta jaja ngakti gomba ziti aton sheki namba ji gom gore te yo dadeng ngole jani katul ko ni gomna ndi kosari kama ankor ju
di naktu ki golo di gomya
ngakti ziti ari inge jadan da ayin bala zorta ta shen rawchi shaziti inji en rawchi raw o tendi rawchi to
da di lecture gigi
leja ki te yo ki tanda dadeng ngol gomna ya kosari dadend david de makor yochik ko kare ziti te wa ta ninki sanda mi ka ya man kor de o te so makor na ya kor o tendi chi yang gomya che mu pa tendi chi yang ki sanda inol hoyi ko jando le hon yi jando den de yin de dish de le hon yi jando tan de le achi atanda sha aton sheki namba gomya chi yor.
So after we've done the meditation 10 or 15 minutes with the very small bright light here at the center of the eyes, and then you've gone through and you've done the dissolving it down into your heart chakra, and you've gone through the meditation that we just outlined about the 3 different Buddha bodies. You also can do a meditation with the heart chakra where you're imagining the tapke.
Karse
di gonda di nakti kiti me di gonda
nakti zena ater nak yike ro yike nak ro
di sadapke di mandok di sadapke
atik yike chmato go.
Okay. And so then what you want to imagine in your heart chakra, which is right here, is not the Tibetan ah, but the actual Indian Sanskrit ah. You want to imagine that in your heart chakra. Di gomakatsu.
No, nyang
Di gomakatsu.
Kamazeta ta nipayo mar so gerin to ka chegom sa na nyeshe gom sa na.
Okay, so I just asked you how many minutes. So however is good for you, right? You would meditate on that there. Yeah.
Is it possible to say a few minutes at the end of the class to do like a guided meditation with this method?
I can ask. The zincha the tamalanga so the kinanga sola the guided meditation concept. The kinanga sola the gomgap tina digrive.
Ta ndikta amdikta shiraz lang ale chekans cheo marta tanda de sheki gomna ma to jen shiraz cheo marta. Ndikta ndikira manga so chitana. Tirizere.
Terin kongitiwa di digiri digima di dagi.
Tachas tebas she andu. That can you watch course. Not so good Jan Dana Zere.
The Injiki the Chigawa Mangbo the guided meditation series the Mijiki Natsola the Geshe Lharampa the Gomgap ki Tia W.
Oh, shaky de Gomjani Theatre.
Yeah.
And did that take a lot at it? Terin that is or other. Imagine
Yeah, if we have time, he said that's fine. Yeah, the Tibetans don't do a lot of guided meditation, so I have to explain a little bit about what that means.
What that? The Sandavla Achigomiatri. That the Lotomo Gomzeti Tewa Sankornal, Tate Gomdiata, Kamacha Katse Gomgona, the Gom Savigila, Tatani Saromanal, Long Juson, Samba, so Taki Nanja, Semgona, Saromanal, Long Juson, Juni. Non c'è son sama machani wasar monde kerson wasar que tombanye que londa tombanye go yan jambe no ya kerson samba teni jambe yan par de jinji chingo pam puson samba tandi gom de nyata pa par cheni te en chipa chikan gom tako kirtani dongo na tsel nyata pa gom de na ndiko re yana nyankal gom de na ndiko yori chik rikchi gom na yan samal There's a young paporna and drinking the Tamali young Nipper the Guayoma. Donganate Jamba, Gomdena. Yana Yaganate Jamba, Gomdena, Yana di Cati Lotomo Gomna, Taxum, what I thought the Chila.
So, you can meditate on the ah here. Do you like the gaps with the current setup curious? The tumo gaps with the
motor is a tombo atasha.
The tumo the second.
Dr. Mondo are gomjir.
The young are gom get
The Alamari, the Chumenage conquer.
Oh, really? So, there's three different sort of visualizations you can do. As we talked about, there's the first visualization here. There's the ah you can visualize here, and there's what we talked about tumo. You can visualize this syllable here, this symbol here at the belly. But he reiterated that it's just really important that we go through this whole process of this meditation as you can every day, and just go through this process. The kirangi tam kajabu chesung the tangbola di
gomnayon
di
nyataban de gomnayon diksari. Only tapan de Ninkala Agomnan diksari. Yama pony gomnan dikosari.
Oh, the Kariana. Okay. So you can meditate on here every day, or you can meditate on this whole process every day, but it's just important to do some amount of it every day.
Mukbandanda dongonate woki tuli gombala mukbayon keton jimali yang pasa poyo or tatombole tombo wachil kar gomnan dikosari.
So, for beginners, really, whatever works for us, it's really important just to do it every day. If this is the easiest, then just do this.
Tantani, Stewal Gomye Yanatani, Tewal Muki Nirdenjani, Nyamari, Teamarbori, then the Takidawa Imba, Nyama Gonlatini, Chormin Rochia, Bardeach, youngest Tangor, Tewal Tango, Te Gomiare,
the Chuchu,
Chuchu, Chantrach. So get a cam doji, ya member, come to member de tell member de Roji, Gom Corese.
So if you want to meditate here, the Tumo meditation here at your navel, what you do is imagine that there's a very, very small flame right here. And that flame is, he said, it's like a needle. It's like a very thin, very small flame that's sitting right there.
What that thing is a politogeni taji counter so now they are the Gomtel Tini Yung. Not trotting, the male the Bukanga, Paritrogenita, Parishi, Tramochoni Chame, that's the Mogomet.
So this is the meditation called Tumo that if you do this, that will make your body warm and that you won't get cold.
Then I trust you,
There's some questions on the online. Geshe La, when I meditate, sometimes I have sensations of tickling or headache at the area of my third eye. Is it normal or what does it mean? Okay, and on the back of my shoulder, same tickling sensation. Kongi tiwa karisina, somsam gom gyaptu, the tickling kanjasakere. Beer the parshe lang atava itching the parshe lang, but the somsam the kongi dila, the dongi ki zela the the tickling or headache. Sometimes the kongi gon nagyore young na sometimes the sorwa the dinje lep gyores. In dila kongi gola. So kong yeah. Well the tiwa ngone karisen the kong gyaptu the have a sensation of tickling or headache at the area between my third eyes. So the some kong got do the dila the chorwa langiere, and the some the kongi go nagiere.
Ali the gomjana go nang dilari.
I kong nagido kang dila the chorwa the dinangshin.
Zaptik raw.
A young did some the gapola the chorwa yongires.
Ali
The namgyun the kare kantis the kare chungire.
te misi so lochte tantra wachi ke injera mangi misi ta tanda soandra landi ta kor navjiti loshi chimbo te ondi tendri soandra wote lego sar yena ya ajedange te lolo chini ngagla til gomja ta so tsani katil gomja ondi an sam sam sema ma kiwa cha tendri ya shishi ndo ni ngel chancho ko sem da sim ya chimbo to so tomba ni ta chancho ko sem to so ya po gomda te ya po pento sa ta maimba taz chogonga gochi gomja de na tsane shu kide yo sonza chena sem chigya tendri ninga shi.
So it is very possible. It does happen sometimes that when you meditate here or you meditate in general, you do have these sensations arise, and you can have you can have sort of problems with your head or your mind or your brain can hurt, and it's a good idea to just be relaxed. It's a good idea to, if you do have sensations that are unpleasant, to go back and meditate on renunciation or compassion or these things like that. Who is this? Geshe Lharampa? Did that answer your question? You're welcome to speak up and clarify if you're there. If that did not answer your question. Yes. So as he said, okay. Di mare di chiwa mare di his kong di chiwa mare di kong tanda di gong gap chigire sung sung.
Lasa ya son oteni rochi tanda tini tetso gong kawa jamna ngel chanjo ko semte ya poji go ngemjo ya boko semcha tamcha ta tini gi cheti yes samba chi tini gom dal kati japto na tembo kati to na tinga matal tanda kasanlam cheri gom da pe ya poyor.
So just sort of in summary, that really whatever kind of meditation we're doing, we need to make sure that we start with the meditation of renunciation as conviction to arise from samsara, and also bodhicitta, this mind is focused on the welfare of all sentient beings, and then we can proceed to this meditation that we've just outlined with the three bodies and the dissolutions and all of that.
Now, so tani tanda chi gom gom pa mombo ta sanel chi ngotro chini tu kire sanel tiler marbo matu chinchu sanni na chi ora tanda zankor dung o ti zankor na tiler marbo chinchu chi tanda dewa ta sanni ni marbo rendo nyama grange nyadang gol nyama dang gol marbo chuchu chi gomnia tani sanni ni ya ta gominalia jikson samba ta gani ma ta gominal ma jikson samba gomgol ta tel gomni gom ya kama chinyo ni shikaze gom to na gom tani marbo chinju chi gomni tani parashitani ya ta gominal logic son sam jiba sam de maze sam de chorni tanda wasar ngonde ker de tomba ni gom ti long jamen de ko ngongir
Gabo ta marbo nika yongire di marbo chikbu.
Mare logic
Mare long.
te gom ondi sa karazena tikatul sa gominal long rosa yo gochi yo son sa nga so mu patela sanlo tela mu pateni le ondi long de tawanda yongoreze wo long de tawanda ondi parshi sa gominal jungro res long gominal jungna ta long ya jikto ko trot jungni yon kam ma pa bia tendri ya yore ta so sama shemu ko ashira so long jungni
So we can also meditate. We can think that there's in the what we call the secret, the chakra, the secret place, which is down here below the navel. You can imagine that there's a very small red dot or seed or sphere, and underneath it is a moon that's shaped like this, and you can concentrate on that, and then you can have that go up the central channel to the heart chakra there, and the what's happening here, right, is that the mind and the wind move together, right? So what you're doing is by focusing your mind, the mind and the wind will eventually start moving up together through the central channel. And then at that point, you would imagine that you have the same sort of clear light meditation.
Last got in the Mara.
Oh. Thank you. When meditating, my sensations can come not only unhappy sensations, memories, images, good or bad. Is that good? Can I connect with some higher beings or spiritual masters when I meditate? Songi jiwakarisina di tamsam di gomgyap di sorwa be jamanja yongri tamsam dupjak tamsam kibo tamsam di jinba jamanja yongire di tamsam di tunji jabo di kariyana yongire di images sena di rimo jabo yongire di yapo yore yapo yomare
Tete Zamupati Yapore Memendo. Mupat Chigla Jamatoni, Narugom Jamite, some the same the trick daily in the same Yindo. Mato, Samupali Apote on a Corotamato chicken, not on Ramada Mari, Shagmari. So Zamupati had them and also supported the Apote de Orita, Samupati Apodeme. And on Hulu, same Gumja Katina, Hulu Roche was a thousand row shoe down the parashita Jambalo at the same tree at the Ria Yosa, Sushu Jakos, Lulu Chikamachatona Chongaton. Kali Javdi Parashita, Titsuri Tanto, Tombo Koni Tisurimbo Chichi to the deity Parashin room. Tombo Kamangats, Chatia Jantini, Kali Parshi Yapomu Paliapo, Lo Detona, Taranritana.
So, in the context of these meditations where you're meditating, you put on these specific objects, all of these various things that are arising would be considered essentially distractions. And so in that sense, they're not good. They're not inherently good or bad, but they're distractions in that sense, because you're really supposed to be focusing on whatever your object of meditation is. In this case, these very small lights, for example, in your forehead. And it's also very important, right, that we don't, that we should be relaxed when we meditate, that particularly when we start out, we're just meditating for 5 or 10 minutes. We're not meditating for a very long time. If we push too much, of course, we'll have problems. Our minds will be unhappy, or we'll have difficulties with meditation. So really at the beginning, it's really important just to stay relaxed and meditate for 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then over time slowly build up the amount of meditation that we do. The young the chiwashare the gongyap do the hla tang ngumagi kepa the jawa the tukya sikireve
Curse.
the gomgyap do kongi gomgyap do hla java the yitam tang the kepa ngumagi the spiritual masters and the geshe the be topo the jia the sikireve
Ali Gomja Caps, Kiotamba to Sonjion at the Rio.
jawa the tukyang the sikireve.
Te Sosoyan Pena Natsoners in a Gadalaja go to Jiramboch and the Gomdera. Parashit so which Geshe Lharampa Rangrig Dorje no Yungu was at it. So China Yapon was serious. And then Gomjati so to Dakeche or Dakechi in Nanjichi in Adjambe in some Nadia Yogori. They Gomja Goti, Pashoni Chiklangia. I am the kid Dentrani. Zahon Bang there, then in Jambian, don't trust Soson Jambian, go in Punjambi on the shop, so the Pona, Nika Chigrin, Zahon Bang, Nisme Panjers, Zahon Bang, Legeri case, Chalani Chig, need Chigrin, the kegel had the town, so hatch out the Tomni, so no, Tomni Nika Chigrin, then you go may yourself. Then it's on that had gum down on the content and as the other young was.
So
So Geshe Young do something and Jason something, so Katina to gum the young was.
So this does happen. It is possible to have that you can have visions or meetings with these higher beings as a meditation. It is, it is often that we're meditating we're meditating with ourselves as a deity, and it's possible to also imagine the deity in front of us, and that we're experiencing what we would call divine pride there. The young the doctor chegore the kiran
And the Dakies the idea. Dakies the Dakies the 10 years to the social health.
Yeah, so it is in fact possible for this to happen. But okay, thanks. Because I learned to meditate in order to contact my own master, not a human form, but a higher being, and I had to listen to his advice. Okay, so kongi sungpa kari sena di kongi gomba jangbe gyumsen kari sena di kongi gegen di not a human form but a higher being kongi gegen tang jawe di tukki che tu kom gyap jangi yore yani kongi gegen di mima re di hatabu yore sungi yore and the kongi gegen the hagi gegen te kongi sungba te nyinya gi che tu kom gyap
ta koro gula nga sonja me ango na je tri gongo yo sar tri gongo yo na sam tri na yon je koro la
yeah, I mean it is possible that this does happen sometimes. Can it actually be an illusion that we contact some higher beings and how to recognize it as an illusion or not? So the dinang shin yongna, the juma mayimba, juma yinba, the doctor che kanjis che yewa che giris.
Tate te hako nge lapshi samarta. Tate sosol snawa te chungu yore ma to nguse ko lhade tana pebi yungu yome te hako me. Nawa te lege yore.
Geshe Lharampa says he can't tell you how to differentiate between that or not. That if it arises, I think it's just you arising and you have to decide.
La so teni ta kama chamang me do gatso gomchi gyage yeze chik dega.
Okay, so we're going to do a little meditation for just a few minutes.
Tanga so de kapcha te yapo mundura. Tanga so thoma te le roa. Dari zikpo te yapo chi ketan yawlo te yan thombo ndis chini ne zikpo chambo kase te thona yapo chi domba te mukte ga dombal ma lolon rawo chi ndri ndri de ton ndri rawo chi te ndi shege yore.
So have your back straight. Don't have your eyes too high or too low. Keep your eyes just a little bit closed. Put your hands, and you can't see his hands, but for those people online, the hands are like that.
Laso tani gom jawi kafza tata nga so mu pa mo bo chungo che na ni nga so dongo na si wo kitile gomba se atela mu pan ri te ton china tandi dongo na se zit indikatu tere tikatu tel o kitile chuchu karbo chuchu chikte kariti yo pate an darden chikngon le dawat ma jani katar le kollo an ro tani chikngol mu pa sarbo shu chite katser sarbo so to na jani o tetelo mu pateni te de are tikable samlo ya ma Jukchua ta chip kan jumuchuni samlo tingol kate ja to jagore ina yama shorta shogre ta shorna yan tsichioni yandar chere.
So what we want to do now is just to, lots of different things will come to our mind when we're meditating, but really what we want to focus on right now is the very small white light at this point at the center, just sort of above and between our eyes, and we want this to be really as bright and as clear and vivid as possible. And so now we'll stay focused on this object for a few minutes.
Also tani nga so tanda ni karbo tile de gombi ni pala tani tatani usu po tsagomi no ni ma kali inga ma leon dita also na kalama tan chepa malamba tan yetum na lamba tanji semle sharion ando chi saulo tan tombo na kalama sherzi na karton ton de chuma to semle sharia me ache.
So now, very slowly, we're going to take this bright white little dot and have it go down our central channel very slowly, very slowly, until it reaches into the heart chakra. And then when it reaches the heart chakra, we can imagine ourselves going through the disillusions and the three appearances, the appearance, the white appearance, the red appearance, and the black appearance.
Tombo karton ton tien le dawasha na jin ji cherson sambachi.
The first white appearance is like a white, like the light of a moon.
Digital nga so nyama sharwi ga jokinga mota chinchit so nyama shane martamtum richindo ho tinjiga na ji leson sambachi.
And then the next appearance, the red appearance, is like a sun early in the morning shining orange or red.
Ting tamatal naktup richin sen la dawata nyamatan selio londro chikam mevin sen la dawata somea naktup chindo tanji na wachi leson sambache.
And then the final, the black appearance, is like a moon in the middle of the night, a very dark night.
Tani digital tani tamcha tombi wasarzeni semnga so go ze goyangoni nyangi mashipi tile nalan zdia tanji sem dpa sem tamashu ta naandro ta shocking apo sem gdawa goyan shitami nyoyami namka tama imbika ko sablon ro tani chisharache.
And then the final appearance, this appearance of clear like mind, is like a very clear sky.
La soni tanji samlo tu tomba ni ya po shu chi kumpa chu tamcha pa tse sona kyuni ra ya me ya njana ji jima na jima kyuni yo mari sambi ton sang namba ya po chi samlo ta.
And then finally we meditate on emptiness as best as we are able.
Ani tomba ni ya po chi kombi chi le tomba ni tanda Tony topi shirab te tan nyam da ze gona ni sen chamu longe yo long te tsar yo wala teni tanda ti ngal tomba ni gomi on di soso tanda tamal yo zu ponchi yo ra zu pon kan ga ton jang chi ni soso di ka ti la ya ta ti sem chamu te tan long chamu ti ni ma to jen soso zu pon ze ya ti kan la me ya chi sa lo tan
And then
nga ze sa te ma to chi kan me ya chi.
From this clear light, we have this mind realizing emptiness, or this mind meditating on emptiness, and from this mind we arise is the enjoyment body of the Buddha. And at this time, really, we should imagine that we don't have any view of our normal body. That really, it's just this mind, this body of the Buddha that's arising from this wisdom realizing emptiness.
Te London ngi chopte zigati pena mashandro kabza tani ngi chopte zigati kiwa chimal kini pardo li ponchi shak chabyongo rete nanjen atso tikatu lonte zingi kyo sem chamoti nyamde lonte zingi kyo kyal tini lamsan soso zupon gangan jambe ngo zupon ran comme serbo oni jachi chani chayi rachata yon la nam ke tini chigla kerson samba gomchi gya reson tanda tenji sem chamo tingang de ora sem chamo te zeng cho ja on ding aso machine ro ka vina ti ka pardo chamro ti zu pon shakti chamro re ma to aso pu chu cha na ju go mare pardo li yelu ra te na janga aso gom ja ka le sem te zeng cho te zi ja la te ni long de lam sang aso le ta ji zu bo zu long ma to che kan yo ma ra zu po sar ban jambe ng zu pon chi chamro ya chi sa lo ta sho si.
So normally when one goes through the clear light mind and then you die and you have these very subtle mind and very subtle wind, you immediately go and arise as a bardo being. You've died. But in this case, what we're imagining is that instead of arising in the bardo, we're arising as this deity.
Tani jambe under gom tani jambe ka tin gerwa tez chambala tini pardo jinji jargap chakso she tanda jiji klap chaksam ga tin ji ka namba pu chang da kor ta ji pa chama pa shatika ya chom yon yo chim
Ti chama yang tang kor la nam tu.
no tin kol takani charta so kor ni ga jai kan zu po kor jai kan ga ki ku lun chata so kol tini so pardo jinji che jayo wa chin tan ko chama la lap chaksam la so kor yo tin ji chiksam la ta jang kore
So we can arise as the subtle mind that arises as Manjushri, which is the deity in this case. We also imagine that we have the mandala that surrounds and the retinue that surrounds Manjushri.
Tenri kasam goptan chi tani jimal sam jayon di kare ta tro kyngor ta chiban tani tsandani sosol ta so ya tsandam ni ta pa tan tamal tonsang ngol banjoy tamal gomma lasal gom doyon di so lam chaksam chi gom ni de ora combat chi bayos combat so tsandani ta la korta so tsandani ta la tsandal so ni ya pa duni ta so sama me pa tombing all banjoy tamal te jasat
Don't never so.
gom ya lang vikabl sama tsduni tini ya lang ja rezai
Okay. So and then, as we meditate, we can imagine that we slowly absorb all of the things into the
tapena nga tsundi kamba ta tsundani ke nga tsundani ngarol to nga ya pa ndini te me pa chandro andu tini chi
Iti gives the
lasel kom lasel
Okay.
samjat
So then, at the end of the meditation, we can imagine that we have arisen as this deity, and we have the surrounding of the retinue and the whole mandala. So we slowly absorb the mandala and the retinue, everything into our image of the body of the deity, and then that sort of absolves into itself and then disappears. And at that point, we arise from the meditation.
tombi nga ni tini ta so tamalwata tsre de ora tini tsel ya lang ni ro jana di kore
Younger tamaki super yogi.
ta tin gom ja sam ja sare ta nga tsun de china tan de ya so ya and de la yon di tamalwa re sare ta ki tamalwa ta kanga du tsara la sam lo ta sare ha ta tsu dunia tamalwa sa jani tini gom sam ja sam de tere
And so then at the end of this, of course, we finish and we've sort of just very slowly arise from our meditation and we've returned to our normal body, but we've absorbed the deity and the abode of the deity inside ourselves.
la so tini ro chi re de je shi gum du tini nga so ja gom ro chi so ya ta chang John yo
Anybody have questions?
Is it very important to keep the hands like this? Because for me it feels more comfortable to have it.
Tanti liki kano ne chu yakana te jandu te la pat so tembo yon iche te indro te je shara ha come
Di che tempo re di kungi chiwa di dinang di che tempo you may young na dinang chin sam di kuma di stop de bo yure.
te ketan lamron te so na liki ne ozpo detang che chu genre she ti no te jandu te jamban de jana de ko chero depondro chi yo pike cha chen in da jakmandro Mangyang yin chi mu chi go chi ma de de chena jakmandro tengi so yinda
Yeah, it's also the way you're not. So, I mean, so the texts do suggest that this is helpful, but it's really kind of what is comfortable to you.
Rồi. Hiện ra thì cho số xe này. Ở tên nó chỉ rẻ, tên nó dễ bắt đầu thôi, mẹ nó giả sử rồi.
Anybody else have questions? If not, we'll stop there.
Anh ấy cho chỉ tăng mẹ.
Nobody?
Alla så det var det ja, tên nó giả sử. Som att du che.
Thank you to everybody. We'll stop there. Thank you so much.
Ja.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Okay, azini go. Du che. Ja.